Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness with David McDonald, the GOAT. And I'm featuring day 123 with Liz V. And everything is well, except for the fact that this is our first official live featuring a grateful and greatness soul on our journey. And so a lot of improvement, but we're pretty excited to be here. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our routine here. Let me turn this wonderful music off. How you doing today, Liz?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if everybody else can hear you, but I can hear you. Can you guys hear Liz out there? I don't know if they can hear you. Can you guys hear? Amanda, can you guys hear Liz? Go ahead, Liz, talk.
Hi, guys. I don't know what to say. Yeah?
I don't know. I hope so. Can you hear? You can hear? Go ahead, Liz, talk.
I can hear you.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Oh, she said not very well. Not very well. Here, Liz, can you you could sit a little bit closer to the camera. But maybe it's my mic.
And maybe it's because it's my phone. Can you hear me now?
I'm not sure. Let's see here.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh no, I put it forward.
Oh yeah, the only thing that sucks is that I think the reason why it's a little interesting.
Oh,
Hey, Liz, do you know sign language? It's like she just signs the whole show. She just starts banging out sign language. Like, what's up, guys? Okay, well, I can hear you. I wonder. I'm not gonna say this is a technical difficulty, but we're definitely getting through this right now. So I'm trying to think here. 1 second. Here, say something else, Liz. Let me see.
say something else?
Yeah, go ahead. Just say mic check 1 2 1 2.
Okay. Good morning. I don't know. I'm nervous. No, I'm just kidding.
Definitely getting through this right now. So I'm trying to.
Good morning. How do you sound low? I'm nervous. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I can hear you. You're good.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're straight. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you enough. I mean, I'm louder, but that's all right. But if you can though, just if you feel comfortable doing it, just move a little bit closer to the camera. But maybe it might be a direct feed from my volume picking up my speakers on my computer too. So okay, my volume's all the way up. All right. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for grinding us. I know I'm way louder. So thanks for grinding us. Thanks for joining us today on the journey to greatness. It's 5:10. We're about to get rocking and rolling here with Liz V. Let's see here. Let me just set these parameters up. Let me see, 36, 40. Alrighty. So we're going to get into our meditation routine here. And then we're going to do our regular routine. And then we're going to, at the end, get to know Liz V a little bit more detail. So if you're joining us for the first time, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a perfect time for meditation. Is a perfect space for you to kind of clear your mind and just give yourself some room to breathe, and just really a good way for you to unplug from everything that's happening around you. If you don't know how to meditate, just sit in silence. Just practice silence. Be in love with silence. Be in love with yourself during this time. Find a way to relax. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try it. Maybe, just maybe, we can pick up on Liz's voice a little bit. Liz, you're gonna have to use your really loud voice.
Okay.
She goes, okay, sounds good.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so what book are you reading right now, Liz?
I'm reading the same one as you. Hopefully the same version, but Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, beautiful. And how are you liking it so far?
I love it. And I love how you explain things because it makes more sense to me. I've read this before, but I decided to read it again when you started just because I want to get a better understanding of it.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, thank you. Appreciate that compliment. And I'm happy that you're reading it again. They say, when you read things more than once, you usually are able to catch it. Catch things in the book that you didn't catch the first time around, and so that's always a good thing. Okay, everyone. Well, we're reading The Journey to Greatness. We should write a book. We're reading Think and Grow Rich, and so we'll see you guys all on the other side. Hmm. Whoa. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. Oh man, this is starting to get thick. It's starting to get really thick. So now it's time for our journaling routine. um, how do you usually start your journal off in the morning, Liz?
I did take your advice, and I started out, thank you for waking me up.
Beautiful. Yeah, and like Liz said, everybody, usually the way that we start our mornings is, that's a good suggestion, Veronica.
What was it?
She said that we should read out loud. That's something. Anyway, okay. So for the journaling exercise, I mean, not get off course. I'm like thinking about, yeah, then I can do this and then that. So with the journaling routine, it's a really good time to kind of get all your ideas out on paper. And I feel that with the journaling routine, you have. I usually started off by saying what I'm grateful for, which in the morning is, waking up and having exceptional health. And so it sounds like, Liz, you do a similar thing, write a similar thing. And so it's just an easy thing to be grateful for right out the gate, because without it, we wouldn't be here. So we're going to cut this session, or at least this journaling session down to maybe, 5 minutes so we can give Liz some airtime here and, kind of hear what she's about, hear her story, and, a little bit about, how the journey to greatness, why she's on the journey to greatness, etc. So let's go ahead and jam out for a little, for 5 minutes on our journal, and then we can get started. Alrighty. So, welcome back. We're starting to get into the thick stuff here in the Journey to Greatness, in the Think and Grow Rich book, and pretty much what I was able to capture today is we're starting to get into how imagination works and the different types of imagination that exists, and how we all can benefit from the different types of imagination, and like what our classifications are. So, without taking too much time on this section of the journey this morning, let me see here. We have Okay, so let me just I'll just go through this. So there is no fixed price for sound ideas. Ding, ding, ding. So if you're somebody out there who's thinking about starting a business partnership with someone, never, ever, ever in your life let anyone tell you that your ideas are not worth half the business, or at least a strong percentage of the business. That's the first thing. Microsoft and Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, were both salespeople. Were both they were creators. And so the biggest thing there is just knowing that your ideas are priceless, frankly. So there is no fixed price for sound ideas. Back of all ideas is specialized knowledge. Unfortunately, for those who do not find riches in abundance, specialized knowledge is more abundant and more easily acquired than ideas. Because of this very truth, there is a universal demand and an ever-increasing opportunity for the person capable of helping men and women to sell their personal service advantageously. Capability means imagination, the one quality needed to combine specialized knowledge with ideas in the form of organized plan designed to yield riches. And if you have imagination, this chapter may present you with an idea sufficient to serve as the beginning of your riches you desire. Remember, the idea is the main thing. Specialized knowledge may be found just around the corner, any corner. So pretty much what the book is saying at this point, and Luis, I'm understanding it is, specialized knowledge is something that you can learn on your day-to-day, either A, from experience, or A, from some type of book or something that you're reading. Let me see here. A capability, or having the capability to transform that specialized knowledge into something mixed in a pot with imagination, gives you the title of creator. When you're able to do those two things, then you're able to manifest your dreams into reality. Now, in the next book, in the next chapter, which is tomorrow, we start getting into what it means to pretty much have an imagination. But Liz, my question I'm going to draw from this is, how do you feel about imagination? Like, what does imagination mean to you?
I think it means creating. That's the first word that comes to my head. Just creating anything that you...
Talk a little bit louder.
Like creating anything that you want.
Okay.
Like creating is the first word that comes to my mind when you say imagination.
Okay, tell me more.
And it's also, I feel like it's also a feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you're imagining something, you feel it, and when you feel it, you see it more.
Okay.
So then I feel like that's part of like creating.
And when you feel that, what is it? What do you experience? What do you experience when you feel like you're feeling imagination happening, or you feel that, like, tell me more about the feeling. What does that feeling feel like?
So I think it depends on like what I'm imagining. So like if I'm imagining something that I really want or something that excites me, I just go into the feeling of already having it, and it's like it's funny sometimes to see myself so excited about something, and then all of a sudden it just happens.
Wow. So
because of the feeling that you get.
Oh, because of the feeling that you get. So you're saying that imagination to you is a feeling-based idea or a feeling-based thought, and or a thought that has a feeling attached to it. And when you experience, and when you have that combo of activities, then your reality, you experience the imagination or the feeling that you have in reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did I say that right, or did I totally butcher that?
No. That's totally what it is.
Okay, cool. And I think that's beautiful, and the cool thing is, throughout all of this, everyone out there watching, I mean, all of us have that greatness within us and able to create the life that we live. And so, segueing to our next question here, Liz, how long have you been on the journey to greatness?
We're on day 100 and what?
123.
123 days. Maybe I think I missed one time. Wait, I think it was a couple. It was a couple, right?
It may have been. It may have been one. It may have been one.
Yeah. I don't even know what, but yeah. It's been 100 and yeah.
So 123 days. Okay. And so she's been here from the beginning. Getting up every morning, and the only question I have to ask you is, why do you keep getting up at 5 a.m. or 4:15 or 4:30 or whatever? Why do you keep getting up so early? Like, why are you on this journey?
Well, that's a good question. I honestly, I feel, in my personal opinion, and I'm sure everybody else does too, but I want something more out of life. I want a meaningful life, and for the longest time, I was searching for like what my purpose is, and I think it comes down to really getting to know who you are first as a person,
right?
And taking this time, like what we're doing today, or like right now, meditating, reading. I've learned so much about myself through this whole journey. Like, it teaches you discipline. How could you? Once you have your discipline down, there's nothing else that can stop you from doing what it is that you're pursuing,
right.
And I think right now I'm in the process of taking little steps to getting to where I want to be.
Got you. Okay. I'm with you. Okay, so what do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned? What would you say the biggest thing has been that you've learned about yourself, throughout this process?
That the mind, that if you don't control your mind, your mind plays a in this whole getting up early, and a lot of the times I would tell my roommate, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm fighting with my mind constantly. But learning to use the right vocabulary to what you're putting out is something that I learned from, for example, when you pause yourself before you say something, because you allow it to get to your mind. So basically just like the whole mind control thing.
Okay, so you feel like you have a little bit more mind control during this.
Yes.
Okay. And would you say that? Let me see here. Would you say that? How do you feel like that translates into like your day to day?
It's like you said, it sets the tone for the day. I have a great day at work, and it's like, whereas before I would have, I would have gone into work and then it would have been like not the greatest day, but this time, like if you set your day to how you feel in the morning, you could be doing the same thing at work, but you feel a whole different, I guess, energy.
Right.
And the people around you also feel that as well,
Right.
which is crazy.
Right. Wow, that's beautiful. So would you say, Liz, like, you know, do you think that, what's it called? What am I going to ask you here? Let me see here. Do you feel that, like, you know, tell us a little bit about, like, I mean, I don't know how comfortable you feel about it, but tell us a little bit about like where you come from. Like, what was your life like before, you know, like you were on the journey to greatness, or you were on your own journey to greatness for that matter?
Yeah. So there's been no. So I came from Eastern Washington 4 years ago. I moved over here by myself. One day I just decided to leave because I wanted to see more opportunity. And oh my gosh, I've learned so much about myself. I wasn't. I don't even know how to explain this, David. That's a good question.
And that's okay. I can ask it a different way if you need me to ask it a different way. So,
yeah.
Okay. So what I'm asking is like, you know, what are some of the challenges that you experienced that you feel, you know, before the journey to greatness, that you feel that, you know, since being on the journey, you've felt some ease, you know, or like you've been able to kind of disconnect yourself from?
Okay. So I think before the journey to greatness, I didn't know how much like you know how you attract. Before I was, you know, like for example, the law of attraction, like you create your own reality. And there was a time where I remember feeling miserable. I had anxiety. I went through a depression. It was just all these things that I feel like now that what I've learned from this whole journey is that I was the one creating those things subconsciously. And so it's like me looking back now, it's like knowing now that I have control over my own life. I mean, there's still some paradigms that I have to overcome based on how I grew up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure how a lot of us grew up. But I mean, just knowing that we have the power to control what we want or what we want out of life, and just it all starts with you. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned as far as like jumping into something that I've never done before.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that wow, that's amazing. And I think that, you know, I think with imagination and like creating that reality, the first step to owning, or the first step to becoming successful in anything that you do, is by taking ownership of it. When you take ownership of, you know, your life, and you take control back of your life, then you are able to create at like your maximum capacity. You're never looking to point your finger at anyone. And I feel like it sounds like, you know, you've taken the responsibility of being in control of your reality. And I think that's, you know, that's a beautiful revelation. And I know that you Liz, you do other things too, you know, like you're constantly like searching for knowledge. You're constantly, you know, trying to better and grow yourself. What are some other things that you do, you know, throughout your day, or what are some other things that you do, or you feel like you do, that, you know, get you excited or keep you focused?
I love lifting. I love going to the gym.
Lifting weights.
I am in the process of getting ready for my first bikini bodybuilding show. Woo-hoo. So that'll be my first. It's definitely going to get me out of my comfort zone. This right now is getting me out of my comfort zone. But it's pretty cool. And I think during this whole journey with the journey to greatness, and then my bodybuilding competition, getting ready, journey to greatness, has taught me so much. I mean, I'm not going to say it's been the easiest, but I'm overcoming these I guess, barriers. Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm over. Yeah, and it's like you've learned so much about yourself, and like going back to taking responsibility for everything. And I mean, it's all the way you look at it. I mean, so yeah, so I do the gym, and then I love to. I'm very social. I love to meet new people. I right now I think I have a set routine, and I feel like I don't know, like I'm learning a lot about having this whole structured routine and then having a balance, living your life, enjoying it at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair.
I enjoy what I do, but I think I have goals to where I want to, for example, spend more time with, friends and then family too. That's one important thing. I think that's part of the reason why I'm working on myself, so I can spend more time with my family and I can help them. Eventually, you already know, David, that's my biggest why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, side note. What is your biggest why? I mean, do you care to share, like, in a couple sentences, like, what the biggest why is for you?
Yeah, that's my mom and my brother. I mean, my family overall, but I mean, my mom is my drive. Every single time I think about my mom, it's like, no. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I need to get.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So when you wake up at what time do you wake up? What time do you usually get up? Is it 4:50? Is it 4:45? You're on
Okay.
Line? Yeah, tell me.
I have like 3 alarms. So there's like 4:30, there's 4:40, and there's 4:50. Oh, 4:50. But normally I get up like around 4:40, and then if on those days where you're battling a little bit, it's like 5-ish, and then I check to see if you're on, so I can say good morning and then start my routine.
That's awesome. So during those times when you feel like, oh my God, I gotta get up at 5, what is your thought process like? What's your thought process like? When you're laying in the bed and it's hard for you to get up. What is that? What happens to you inside?
Honestly, it really went from how I would tell myself first thing in the morning, Liz, how bad do you want it? That was one thing. And then another thing was the 5-second rule. I tried that so many times too. And then, which really works. And also I went from that to thank you for waking me up. The first thing I say when I wake up in the morning, I put my feet down from my bed and I just say, thank you for waking me up. And there was so many times where I would be like so excited to wake up in the morning for some reason. And I was like, sometimes I would be like at 4:30 and I was like, oh shoot, it's not 5 yet. Okay, go back to a little bit.
A little bit. She said a little bit. 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. No.
I know. And then it came to, those hard times where you had a hard time getting up, and I really had to think about going back to your why and like why you're doing what you're doing and what it's teaching you. And then also, people that know me back home or like my friends that see me grow up, I used to get up at like 12.
Wow.
Depending on the job that I had, the earliest I remember waking up was probably like 10:30.
Wow.
And now looking back, I'm like, what? I was like, wait, like all this time I could have been doing all these things, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's beautiful. That's tight. Dang, you should sleep until 12. Dang, you must have worked the graveyard shift. No, I'm just joking.
Right. Oh man.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, I mean that's totally fair. I feel like that I think we all come from a place, and I think that's something to be like, mentioned, because at the end of the day, like we all are people, and the journey to greatness, I feel like just trying to live your life in a better way. It doesn't have to be the journey to greatness necessarily, but just trying to live your life in a better way, and then looking back at what, how we used to be, that's a beautiful thing, because that is reflection, and at the end of the day, And at the end of the day, I think it's really important for us to remember where we come from and to be able to like reflect on that rather than just living life and allowing it to happen to us. We look back and we're like, yeah, you know, like you just said, you know, however long ago you used to sleep in, you know, but I don't know what the real purpose was there at that time. But now you're like, wow, like how could I have done that? And that right there is, I think, maturity, it's sophistication, it's growth, it's strength, you know, and it's confidence. And so I only applaud it 100%. So that's beautiful. And the other question I would say is, or I'll ask is, what's your biggest goal for 2018?
You know, I chose a word for 2018, and one of the words is breakthrough. And so basically, like, break through my barriers that I tend to constantly go in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the biggest. I mean, be the best. For one, is my competition. I want to be the best I can be for myself, because, you know, going back, you hear this all the time. You're your only competition. It's so true. You are your own competition.
Mm.
Like, I'm constantly. I mean, and I'm trying to change. I'm changing my vocabulary on this, but I don't know how to explain it better than this right now. It's just I am constantly almost like fighting with my own mind, which doesn't seem like it because I don't like to put that energy out, but sometimes it's like that.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure you know, David, because every single time, like, you come online, you give your best self you can be, but I'm sure there's times where it's not as easy.
Right.
And we all have to.
Right. And you know, I'm giving the best that I can be, but you know those days where I'm just like, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. usually comes after a very, very adventurous night. So speaking of adventurous nights, segueing into that, what's up now? You know, our culture, our society, everything about us is about, you know, being social, especially at night. The creative genius comes out of us. Like, what do you do now? You know, like, you can't drink alcohol anymore, or do you drink? And you know, what about going out and hanging out and, you know, partying a little bit even if it's every now and again, and just getting super wild and loose? I mean, what's your take on that? And, you know, are you experiencing any like inner conflict of like not being able to go out, let's say?
Okay. So yeah, for the longest time, I had friends in the beginning it was like they would invite me out and I'll be like, okay. No, I would really think about it, and I just always would say no. And so so then after that, I was like, a couple of weeks went by, and I'm like, okay, let me try it out. I tried it out. I went out, but I don't drink. Part of the reason I chose not to drink for my competition, and prior to that, I had already stopped drinking. Like, just because it's my personal opinion, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know, I just didn't like how it made me feel afterwards. But so I've gone out before, and my gosh, David, in my mind I have, no matter if I get home like at 2, 3 in the morning, I'm setting up my alarm at 5, or, you know, 5 the latest, because it's usually 4:40 or something.
I got you. That's cool. That's cool.
So I get up, yeah, and I just do my routine. There's no excuses. There really isn't. I mean, there was this one point where I felt guilty because I think it was at one time I didn't get on, and I told you about it. And then you were like, for some reason, I had all these things in my mind, like, he's mad at me, he doesn't believe in me. You know, all these bad thoughts or negative thoughts. And so then I'm like, no, this I don't like this. So I quickly changed it. And then, I mean, I learned a lot from that already. Just what is important to me and what makes me feel better.
Right.
I mean, it just depends on the scene. Like, I mean, where you're at, what you're going, what you're doing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you wait? Hold on, and let's clarify that. Was I mad at you, or was I upset at you?
No, I just had that in my head.
Okay. Just want to make that clear. Okay. All right.
But you know what I like that you said? You said something, I think it was a couple days after, but not necessarily to me, but it spoke to me because there really is no excuse. Oh, I think there was one time where you didn't come on.
Yeah.
You were beating yourself up for it.
Yep.
I could see that and I could hear it. And so I was like, no, like, you know, we're here supporting each other. Like, start, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Let's do it again. And you were very supportive of that. And so it comes to show, like, you're not always going to get it perfect, but the fact that you're always getting up and trying and trying and trying is what counts.
Yeah.
And eventually,
wow.
to where you're at.
That's really awesome, actually. We could have talked for a whole hour, I feel like, but that's really awesome. I think, you know, like one thing that, like one of the main reasons, one of the other main reasons that I wanted to do it in this form, like I'm not in a suit right now, you know, and, you know, pretty much every day I have to dress up, you know, to get to work. And when I started this journey, you know, to the fact of being perfect, you know, I really wanted to show a different side of me on camera, where it's like, you know, wow, like, you know, he does dress in suits, or he does do this, or he does do that, but at the end of the day, you know, he's still one of us, you know, like and I think you know, I have my challenges I go through, but I'm kind of a private person. So, you know, I usually keep my business in my house and in my personal space. But like being online and being raw, you know, like I get online in sweats every day and sweatshirts and weird shirts that have Bart Simpson with his butt out and says Croatia on the top. Like I have a sense of humor, you know, and I'm a total geek. And I feel like, you know, this platform, it really has broken me wide open, you know, because never in my brightest day, even when I go down to the store, you know, like I like to look decent, you know, presentable. And so it's, you know, to that point of being perfect, I think one of the beautiful evolutions for me personally off of that idea is that I've learned, you know, that we all are perfect. You know, I am perfect and you are perfect, Liz. And we are perfect in the way that we show up. And so that's what makes it so beautiful. So thank you for reminding me of that, because that is one of the other reasons why I do this. So I think you know, that's pretty much good. So what's one thing that you would say, you know, to close everything out here, what's one thing that you would say, you know, to everyone out there who's watching, and as like a, you know, maybe some motivational tip that you would give to everyone?
This is my first interview, David, so this is good though, because I'm just being myself. I mean, honestly, guys, I feel like once you get in tune with yourself, anything you ever do, I mean, when you take responsibility, I think for everything that you do, life just becomes better. You have a different energy. There's different perspectives out of everything going on out there. I mean, just keep working on yourself. I think that's the only thing that I would leave off with. Like, just work on yourself, and it's all worth it. It's not always going to be easy, but honestly, I heard this saying, like, what if you can see what's on the other side of failure? You know how a lot of people stop right when it starts getting hard,
right? And
then they don't see the other side of failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because once they fail, it's like they give. That's a lot of times what happens when we talk about they give up and then they don't go forward. But what if you can see the other side? What's on the other side? You never know unless you try, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So that's the biggest thing.
I like that. That's pretty. What if you could see on the other side of failure? And the beautiful thing is, to complete that idea, is we do see, right? And we see what's on the other side of failure. I think we have the option to create that reality for ourselves. So I think that's a beautiful point. Well, I appreciate you, you know, joining me and, you know, being our first feature on the journey to greatness. I know you're here with us every day. You guys always feel free, you know, to add Liz. I actually had Amanda Bell, if you're on right now. She's an excellent, beautiful, wonderful soul. she reached out to me. I don't know if she reached out to you yet, but let's make that connection known right now. That she works where you work also at Tycor, and you guys should definitely connect and be on that wavelength together, because I think that will be explosive energy and just wonderfulness.
Oh my God.
And I told her you're super.
I saw her and I was like, Amanda Bell, that sounds so familiar, because I always see this name on at work.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn, it went through my mind. I was like, what if she works at Tycor?
She's like, I always see the big baller list right over there, Amanda Bell. Yeah. That's Amanda. No. No, but yeah, so so we got that out the way. So at least we're making connection. I think that's a really big part of building a deep-rooted community. And again, thank you so much, Liz. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. Your dedication is inspiring to me. Your accountability is very, very inspiring to me. And I'll see you tomorrow on the journey to greatness at 5 a.m.
Bye, guys.
Okay, see ya.